Good afternoon, and welcome back to what may well be the final historical workshop in this series about the events of 1066 and the consequences thereof. I am, of course, Professor Brian, that's Brian Fowes, historical professional professor of history, broadcasting to you yet again from the library in my bedroom. Now, we have examined in close detail the events surrounding the succession of William the Conqueror to the throne of England. Now, it is safe to say that William, King of England, was less than popular among his new subjects. There are many reasons for this. Some may be to do with the fact that he had killed the Anglo-Saxon king. Some were concerned with the fact that he made all of his Norman friends powerful lords and barons, replacing the original Anglo-Saxons, and also possibly because of the ruthless way in which he taxed the people of Britain, or England in this case. Needless to say, he was less than popular. When he died in 1087, few mourned his passing. His funeral was a sight to behold, but not in a good way. However, I am disinclined to recount the tale of that in this section of the video. If you wish to learn more, do so at your own peril. It's pretty grim, and I'm not even kidding. He was succeeded by his son, who became William II, King of England, better known as William Rufus or William the Red, so called because of his startlingly red hair. Amazingly, William Rufus proved even less popular than his father. He surpassed his father in all acts of brutality and hardness and unkindness. He was a horrific king, disliked, needless to say, dare I say, hated by his subjects, who he treated with disdain and in a most abysmal fashion. He was not well liked. Move the story forward to the 2nd of August in the year 1100. William Rufus was due to go hunting in the Nova Foresta as created by his father, the hunting ground. He was hunting with many friends, one of whom was a chap called Sir Walter Tyrrell, and another was William's youngest brother, Henry. The day did not start well for William. He received early that morning a message from a friend sent by the Abbot of Gloucester. In the message, William was told of a monk's dream which foretold that William would die in a hunting accident. Now, William had no love for the church. He mocked the priests and the clerics and declared them to be a non-entity in his eyes. So, as you can imagine, this is not a good start to a day's hunting to be prophesied to die whilst out hunting. Nevertheless, they began the day. Now, picture the scene. The sun is high in the sky. It beats down with relentless power and sunlight, as suns often do. Anyway, moving on. The party of hunters broke into two groups. William was with his friend Sir Walter Tyrrell when they spied a stag prancing majestically through the woodland. They pursued the stag at haste, and as they approached, Sir Walter Tyrrell drew back his bow and unleashed an arrow which struck the stag but did not stop him in his tracks. The two continued to pursue the stag, jumping over bushes and through trees until they found the stag, at which point Sir Walter Tyrrell decided to leave the wounded stag to be hunted by the King, William Rufus. Sir Walter Tyrrell pursued another stag. Sighting the stag, he once again drew back his bow and unleashed a ferocious arrow right in the direction of the stag. It looked as if it would hit the stag. Then, as fate would have it, it struck a mighty oak tree, rebounded, and hit the king slam in the chest. The king was hit, struck by an arrow fired by his very own friend, Sir Walter Tyrrell. Sir Walter Tyrrell was terrified of what may happen. He dashed towards the king and, without thinking, withdrew the arrow from the king's chest, throwing it aside, which only had one single consequence: to quicken and hasten the king's death. Fearing the worst, as you would if you just killed a king, whether it be by accident or with deadly intention, he ran away from the scene. In fact, he was so scared he returned to his native France and never set foot in England again. The King William Rufus was left to die in a forest, completely alone. And had it not been for a wandering charcoal burner by the name of Purkis, a peasant, who loaded King William onto his cart and returned him to the city of Winchester, he may never have been found. Whilst all this was going on, Henry, his younger brother, marched forthwith and with utmost haste to the treasury at Winchester, and amazingly had himself declared as the new King of England. He did not seem to mourn the passing of his brother in any way. On the 5th of August, Henry became King Henry of England. Now, this may all seem rather straightforward, but one should remember just how unpopular William Rufus was, and rumours began to abound. Was it an accident? Was he in fact slain by his friend Sir Walter Tyrrell? Other people argued that there was another hunting band in the forest that day, waiting for the right moment to attack the king, kill him, and present it as a tragic accident. One may argue that such things would have been organized by his brother Henry, who stood to gain the most from his death. Whether it was an accident, whether it was murder, we shall never truly know. What we would like you to do is do some research, find out what you can, and make your own decision, come to your own conclusion. Was it an accident, or was it, in fact, murder of a king? I'm not going to tell you what I think, because I don't know. Anyway, I wish you well in your learning. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and until we meet again, I bid you adieu.